8, 7, 6. We have main engine ignition.
In October of 1958, Pioneer 1, the first American spacecraft, was launched from the Earth's surface. Since then, the United States has made great leaps in space travel. From the Apollo missions to the Shuttle, 154 American astronauts have been hurled into that endless frontier we call space.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
On July 19, 1985, one day before the 16th anniversary of Neil Armstrong's walk on the moon, NASA named its newest astronaut. This is Concord High School in New Hampshire, where a 36-year-old woman, Christa McAuliffe, teaches law and economics. In January of 1986, she'll join the ranks of the privileged few who've traveled into outer space. Christa will be a passenger on the 25th voyage of the Space Shuttle. This will be the first fall that I haven't gone back to school since kindergarten. It's going to be a lot different. When NASA announced that the first private citizen in space would be a teacher, 11,000 educators applied for the position. After reading their 15-page applications, NASA narrowed the field to 114 semifinalists, then 10 finalists. But for those 10, the selection process was really just beginning. The faculty members' faculties were tested, from the physical to the psychological. Christa and her comrades were put through their paces, and then the final test. Who could hold on to their lunch the longest while experiencing the sensations of space travel? They had to face the KC-135, the plane that simulates weightlessness, the ultimate roller coaster, lovingly referred to as the Vomit Comet. The doctors at Johnson Space Center realized that 10 of us wanted to have a positive experience on board this plane. So they did offer us some motion sickness medication. We all took the medication. They only did 27 of these big loops over the Gulf of Mexico instead of the 40 that they normally do. So we came off the plane feeling very good about it. They were looking for a good communicator, somebody who everybody could relate to, both teachers and students. They were looking for someone who was excited about teaching and excited about the space program. I really thought they were going to have to close their eyes and just kind of pick one of the names, because any one of us I knew would have done a very good job. But NASA did make their choice, and they didn't do it with their eyes closed.
Ann Bradley, who is one of the executives at NASA, had turned to me, and we're talking about how our families cope when we're away, and the subject of nutrition came up. And I said, well, one of the things that my husband relies on is cornflakes. He eats lots of cornflakes while I'm gone because it's easy to get, and it's quick, and the kids love cornflakes. And we went on to other topics of conversation, and right before we left the room to go to the White House, she turned in the middle of a sentence and said, I think you're going to have to stock up on some more cornflakes because you're it. And I remember just kind of sitting there, almost stunned for a minute, and it wasn't until one of the other candidates came up and gave me a big hug and said, hey, congratulations, you made it, that everything sunk in, that I was the teacher, and I didn't have a speech or anything prepared. We were going to the White House in about 2 minutes.
But despite all the confusion and the excitement, Christa did find the words to say. She spoke from her heart and showed America that she has the right stuff.
I've made 9 wonderful friends over the last 2 weeks. When that shuttle goes, they might be one body. But there's going to be 10 souls that I'm taking with me.
And I could just feel that strength of the 9 other people just saying, hey, you know, we're behind you. It wasn't an emotional experience.
But Christa's fellow teachers aren't her only supporters. The McAuliffe fan club starts at home with 6-year-old Caroline, 8-year-old Scott, better known as Scooter, and her husband Steve.
He's been very supportive about the program. He encouraged me to apply, and in fact, when he heard the announcement, he said, oh, that's something you've got to do. I can't believe it. You're going to have a chance to apply for this program.
And she did get an application, but basically had to be a little bit nagged to get it done and filed. And in fact, she was in here in the law office the last week using our word processor to get the thing out in time. And I think she filed it the day before it was due.
Why did you encourage her to apply?
Oh, just because the opportunity was so terrific, and and you know that you just couldn't. It's not the kind of thing I think you can reasonably pass by without making a stab at it.
Christa took a chance, and it paid off. But she won't be the only one benefiting from it. A lot of people are counting on Christa to bring the experience of space back home with her.
One of the things I try to bring to the students while I'm teaching history or economics or law is that they do make a difference and that the ordinary person counts. So when I was trying to decide a project for aboard the shuttle, I felt if I brought back an ordinary person's perspective, a journal or a diary, my thoughts and my feelings, then that would give them the connection with the space age.
We have ignition. We have ignition of the solid rocket boosters and liftoff. Liftoff of America's space shuttle, and the space shuttle has cleared the tower.